And so this is what she sent me. It looks like a bowl of celery with tuna. So I'm thinking, why is she sending me this? And then I decided to read what she wrote. Hey, thought you'd get a kick out of this. This is my newest concoction that you and the sweetheart Jana Marie and all vegetarians, vegans around the world would love. I agree it's not the prettiest presentation. I didn't say it wasn't pretty. I said it looks like tuna. But I was standing in 100 plus heat yesterday as I prepared it, and I had to be fast before passing out from the heat. I'm not laughing at her, I'm laughing with her, because I can imagine her preparing this in her kitchen, dying of the heat. Thank goodness my basement is 40 degrees cooler, and it's absolutely true. It's the wildest thing. In New York and New Jersey, if you want to get out of the heat and you're lucky enough to have a basement, wow, it's a big difference. My grandfather back in Nebraska, when it would get hot, he had one air conditioning for the entire house. It was a window air conditioner, a huge window air conditioner. But when it was just too hot, he would go into the unfinished storm cellar and sleep. And he had a bed there. Hey, it's Mr. Gordon. Good schmorgans. Since it's not tuna, what is it? Well, I guess you're just going to have to wait and find out. Because I'm teasing the story very slowly. And I'm going off the rails a little bit. I'm trying to watch what I eat as I need to take a blood test in the next couple of days. Just a 3-year overdue test before my doctor threatens to withhold my medication. Now, I'm going off the rails again because I love that. I do the same thing. Oh, I'm going to the heart doctor. No alcohol, no saturated fat, no sugar, no dessert. I'm fasting. I'm going to behave for a week and a half. And I'm like Dora. I have to have a blood test? I don't want a blood test. It's going to reveal all my secrets, all my bad behavior. So for 3 days, I'm going to eat nothing except healthy things and things that won't affect my A1C and my meow meow and meh. And you think you can clean your blood, right? And you can. But you can't do it in 3 days or a week. It takes a month, 6 weeks for your body to react to your better behavior. And this also reminded me, during the pandemic, my heart doctor, and I've been seeing him for many, many years, sort of didn't really want to see people. He was old. He had an older wife and daughter and kids, so he didn't really want to see people in person. He sort of disappeared for about 3 months where you couldn't find him. And finally, when the pandemic was over, it turns out he sold his business. His business was on the first floor of a brownstone, 3 levels. There was a fire in one of the apartments that destroyed really the whole building. So during this pandemic, he had his whole building rebuilt. He had the medical office completely redesigned from the bottom up. And then he sold the whole thing. And he's there, still practicing, but not really. But his name is there, so his old patients won't run away and go to a different doctor. Okay, I get all that. So I couldn't find him, and I was running out of medication. And I couldn't get anybody to respond to me. So I said, well, we're in a pandemic. I'll try this telemedicine thing. And one secret power that I do have is, for some reason I don't understand, speaking very humbly but very truthfully to you right now, is women from Eastern Europe, Czechoslovakia, Ukraine, Poland, Russia, they love me. sight unseen. Until they see me, they love me. They don't even speak to me, and they're already in love with me. I don't know why, I don't know how, but I accept the adoration. And this has been true of colleagues, people I meet on the street, hospitals, doctors, some students. Got to be very careful. Everything is professional. There's no weird encouraging going on. And I don't encourage anything because I've been married now for 34 years. But I will take the favorable attraction. I don't know if it's white privilege or Eastern European fascination privilege, but I'll take it, because why would you turn down any sort of privilege? So usually when these people are in a position where I need to get help and I ask for help, I very readily get help. And I'm very appreciative of that. So I'm searching on the telemedicine for a doctor, and you can, on some of these services, read their background, where they're from, where they're originally from, where their current medical license is from. And I confess, I was looking for an Eastern European female doctor around my age to be my doctor for my telemedicine conference, because I wanted to get a nice supply of my medication. And some of these doctors are very, if you've ever done telemedicine, some of them are nice. Most of them are very kind of sketchy, grumpy. They don't really want to write you a prescription, but I guess they have to. So you have to try to find someone who you think will be amenable to you and help you and get you in and out really fast. And they have pictures and background. So I picked, this is like, I guess, how Match.com works, but I've never, or Tinder or whatever that's called, but I don't ever use, because I've been married for 34 years. So I see this doctor, and she's female, around my age, a little bit older, blonde hair, blue-eyed, from Poland. School. My Eastern European attraction privilege is coming into play. So I click on her, and she pops up, and she has a very thick Polish accent, and I can see immediately, just by the sparkle in her eye, that she is thrilled and delighted to make my acquaintance. Score. I've done it again. And we start talking about my medication, and I explain about my doctor, and she said, when was the last time you did blood? Which is what our friend Dora's doctor is asking her. I said, I think it was, 8 months ago, 8 months ago. And then she went into this big dramatic fit. Oh my gosh, you're on heart medication. This is very serious. I'm not writing you a prescription until you get a blood test first. I said, well, I'm going to run out of medication in about a week. Right now, you can't get into LabCorp because of the pandemic. They're closed. We are in the middle of a pandemic, and I'm really not going out anywhere. I just need to get my medication refilled, and when the pandemic is over, then I will go and get a blood test. I was unacceptable to her, and for the next 10 minutes, I got harangued by what I thought was my Eastern Bloc attention of love. As she said, I have to have blood tests every 3 months. I think I am. What kind of doctor do I have? She'll write me a prescription for 7 days of medication. I said, this call is costing me $25. I would like to get 90 days. No, we can't prescribe 90 days on telemedicine. Only a maximum of 30. And I'm not writing you one for 30. You have to go get a blood test right now. I said, I don't know how or where you are, but where I am, there are no blood test centers that are open. Go to the hospital and get a blood test. So I don't think my insurance covers blood tests in hospitals unless I'm an admitted patient. Pay for it out of your own pocket. I was very shocked by this whole turn of events and very upset. But I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere with her because I could see she had turned against me now, that I was now an idiot. The sparkle in her eye had disappeared. I was now the dog on the street, the estranged husband, the disappointing child who never turned out to be anything. And in her mind, I could see she had dismissed me. So I said, well, this isn't going well. I think I'm going to go now. And if you can't give me a 90-day prescription, then I can't continue this conversation. And I said, thank you, and left. Foiled again. And then in about 10 minutes, I got a transcription of our conversation and what she decided. And she said, patient said, this is no good, needs 90 days, wants to prescribe 90 days, so case closed. And I don't believe I got charged because we didn't do anything. All she did was yell at me. And so after about 3 or 4 days after that, I said, now what am I going to do? I'm not going to go to a different telemedicine. If the rule that they won't do more than 90 days, I need 90 days because we're in a pandemic. I don't need 30 days because then they want you to go back and get another 30 days and keep paying $25. So finally, I found my heart doctor who said, well, you have to come in and see me. So I went over there. He called me as I was standing in the freezing street, interviewing me about my exposure, decided I could come in. I was in there for 60 seconds. He looked at me, took my blood pressure, weighed me, and said, okay, go. So it worked out, but it didn't work out because it was a big mess. And my Eastern European attractiveness privilege was dealt its very first severe my ego. So I know how my friend Dora feels. And I didn't have a blood test for another year after that. That was 2 or 3 years ago. So to my doctor, it wasn't a big deal. To the telemedicine doctor, who maybe was very fond of me and wanted me to stay healthy and clean and survive and have a blood test every 3 months under her care so she could see me on a more regular basis. I don't know. And now it's time to take a very brief blood pressure break. Yes, this is what we do in television. We're going to keep Gordon hanging. Is it tuna or is it something else? Yeah. We'll find out in a moment.